it looks like we have
Who
like.
is
Is
it,
she calling
though?
you?
I
She's
wish.
calling you?
That would be amazing. Let's kick off the stream right. Here I
Okay.
have a Coca-Cola glass that I got for free because I ordered an extra value meal at McDonald's a couple of years ago. And here I have a can of
I don't,
Pepsi. Let's take a
can,
listen
can,
to this.
can I say that I'm not sure that I would consider that to be free?
I mean, I didn't know I was getting it. I wanted the value meal anyway. So
Whoa,
to me it
whoa.
was free.
What a deal.
So now we're gonna pour the Pepsi into the Coke glass for irony. Look at that pour. Look at that voluptuous pour.
Is that irony? I never know anymore.
It probably isn't, but I'm gonna
I
call
never
it
knew to
irony.
I never knew to begin with, but ever since
Is
that
that
song, people are
I
ready
had a
to jump on people.
I
So
had a
I just
Coca-Cola glass like that when I was in college, except it was slightly bluish, and then it broke.
Ooh, I had another one that was kind of greenish blue, and it said like McDonald's hamburgers on it. Is that the one?
No, well, it didn't say anything about McDonald's. It was just a Coca-Cola thing.
Oh
But
yeah.
it eventually, after I drank water out of it like every day for 2 years, it broke.
So this one actually doesn't say anything about McDonald's on it, but I know I got it from McD's. Oh, that Pepsi's delicious. It's really gonna help me uh, get my vocal cords the way they're gonna be here. So uh, are we ready to talk about Dominion? I think we can talk about Dominion. That's pretty rad, yeah. I'm not going to do the cards that were in the preview, and I want to try and move a little bit briskly. I don't want to spend too much time. Not as much time as the one that I did before. Not as much time per card. So let's go. How about that, huh?
Sure.
Okay.
yeah, why not?
Well, so I want to talk about Page first. This is really low quality. Great. Uh,
That's because they're from the rule book, and the rule book is not
oh, that's
very
why.
high resolution.
That's why Coin of the Realm was higher
They're
quality because that was previewed. Oh.
right.
So this is Page. Page is a $2 action, has his Traveler type. It's
Hi,
cantrip.
Paige. How you doing?
Oh baby. And when you discard it from play, you exchange it for a Treasure Hunter. Now there's the chain, there's the Page, and it goes all the way up to Champion. And what I kind of want to do is talk about Champion first. Because really, you're buying these for the top of the line in most of the cases.
Usually.
So
Yeah.
let's just talk about that first. So Champion, hi Champion. Uh,
Hi.
you've done so well for yourself. So it's an action, and then for the rest of the game, you are defended from all attacks, whether you want to or not, and you never have to worry about terminal actions again because you always get an action after you play an action. So aside from the diadem
Also,
interaction,
it's not terminal.
this is
Yeah,
this is true, yeah.
this is a thing.
So basically, aside from the diadem interaction, it means no more terminals. There's just no more terminals. You don't even have to
You
track it. Just
you
actions
just
go.
play all your actions
Yeah.
if you want to.
So it's been talked a little bit on the forums. This was one of the very few cards in the set that I wasn't entirely like super enthused about, and
Yeah.
they even said why. Like, you take two of the mechanics of Dominion and you just kind of pitch them for the game. Now, as for the defense, I actually really like that. I love playing defense in Dominion. I love attacking. I love defense. And even if there's a card that shuts it down, like there's a cost to getting it, that's a
Uh-huh.
significant cost, and then all of a sudden, the attack cards are still doing something for you. So like, great.
Well, most of them.
Most of them, yeah.
Sea Hag and Saboteur look nice.
That Sea Hag. Oh man, she's so hot.
Whoa, whoa. Better not say that around your fiance,
Oh,
man.
she's heard me say that before. She knows that she has nothing to worry about. I showed her a picture of the Sea Hag. But like the non-terminal thing, I don't know. Like I just kind of wished it provided actions in abundance as opposed to limitless. Raw. Ooh, Hugo VJ says question mark. Fascinating.
Well, it was before he'd said not as much equals an hour, right? And then he's reiterating the question mark, I think, because he wants you to answer that
Oh,
question.
I don't have an answer for that
Maybe
question.
that was like 2 minutes between those two things, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
only 2 messages, but there's like
He
one
might be
message
wondering
between
about the
two.
diadem thing.
It could be. He could be.
I've never heard it pronounced diadem.
No,
I,
I
I,
didn't.
I
I didn't.
think I think I've heard it pronounced
It,
diadem,
it might be
but
right, but I'm pretty sure diadem is
I've
also
definitely heard it pronounced diadem more.
Now Hugo is providing another message which does not clarify at all
great. Well, I'm
what
glad.
he's referring to.
I'm
Right.
glad that you're not.
You're not
I'm probably
something.
not either, because that is. Oh, I was wondering why diadem was.
There
Oh,
you go.
Oh,
because
okay.
of the
There you go.
champion diadem interaction. That's why. And
Yeah.
which, to be honest with you,
It's
I don't
It's
actually want
not.
to talk about because I'm never going to play with tournament in any
Well,
of my IRL games. So,
the biggest thing is that it's annoying because you actually still have to count your actions as opposed to just playing them all, right? That's the biggest thing about that interaction.
let's just hope there's no plus buy in that game, and you can be like,
Well-
yeah, I have infinite money, whatever.
You just will never. I don't know that diadem ever was actually used in a champion game, but
I've never seen it before.
it
Sick
is a funny
combo.
thing, and I'm sure it'll happen eventually for someone.
Oh
but
yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's just not like
Oh yeah.
it doesn't matter.
it's
I
not,
mean,
it super
No, it's
doesn't
not.
matter.
when you have diet or when you have champion, it's not really the thing you're
Oh,
trying to
man.
do.
Oh
So-
man, diadem. That's why I needed champion.
So like the thing about champion defending against attacks is like you don't get champion until a while into the game. Like I don't think I've ever seen a champion before turn 10, and I know it's possible, but like I've never
Right.
seen it before.
It'd be hard. It'd be
So
pretty difficult.
yeah,
So it
like,
doesn't
that's-
matter as much for cursors,
Yeah, like
and-
most of the
but it
attacks
does for
really hurt you.
discards.
Yeah, most of the attacks really hurt you by that point. So like it is defense, but it's not complete unequivocal defense.
Okay. Isn't the bigger thing that it gives you unlimited actions?
Yes.
Yes,
That's
Okay.
That's a big freaking
that's,
deal, right?
That's the thing. The moat thing is not so important. It matters for like knight kind of attacks and
Right.
and militias, but you know.
Yeah. If they're margraving you every turn, you're gonna like
Right.
having 5 cards instead of 3, probably.
Yeah.
But
So, but like that's totally broken. Like it's ridiculous. You can just play all the actions you want.
yeah,
So-
but like I think people are gonna overestimate the card because I think people are gonna underestimate how hard it is to buy the other card and then play it 5 times.
Yeah. That takes a long time. It's a huge
So-
opportunity cost.
So I would buy both of these things almost every single time they're on the board, and that doesn't mean that was the right thing, but
Yeah.
it's not usually such a punishing thing either to buy one of them at the opening.
Yeah,
Um,
I think a lot of the cards in this set, and also prints, like these cards tend to reward you or provide you ways to overbuild, and maybe sometimes reward you for overbuilding depending on the kingdom. So like if you can just find a way to be rewarded for overbuilding, like
Well,
it's a really easy call to go
my-
for champion.
My big thing is, well, I mean, you first of all, you probably need some kind of something to go with it because just playing it 5 times without any like kind of engine otherwise or any kind of trashing, like that's gonna be too slow. It's gonna take you to like turn 18 or 20 on average. Like if you have nothing else going on. Now, usually there's gonna be something else going on. You're gonna have some kind of trashing, or you're gonna have some kind of engine vaguely. If this is the only village, you might be in some trouble unless you have a really, really good payload at the end. I again, all I'm saying is all conjecture, but
I mean, clearly champion is not a big money card. Like almost
Well,
none
yeah,
of this
no.
stuff does anything
Right,
for
no,
you
it's
if you're playing
nothing
big
for you.
money.
well, if somehow your opponent gained a bunch of things, then Treasure Hunter gaining you 10 silvers could be really good for
But,
big money.
yeah,
but
I mean the middle ones are fine for money,
But in
the
general.
champion is not. Like
Right.
you might stop on a hero if you're playing a money kind
Yeah.
of thing.
But I mean, I guess my biggest thing is I'm not sure, and maybe it is, and I'm sure sometimes it's amazingly good, because it just gives you this end game inevitability. If there's particularly if there's like a VP chip cards that you can just spam them, then like Monument or
Yeah.
or
Goons.
goons, or even just like draw cards, and you don't have that many villages. But there's, you know, just decent terminals, even
Yeah.
any terminals really. But probably not if it's the only village. But I guess the thing is, like you probably want to build an engine anyway, and you probably can't entirely just skimp on villages waiting for this to come around. Um, so I don't know that you can
But
abuse it
but you can go
that much
go
until
a
you have it.
lot lower on villages.
It rewards the style of deck building that revolves around like over terminaling your deck and then adding your villages and then it
Sure.
clicks right away. Like it rewards that
Sure.
style more certainly. It also rewards cycling quite a bit.
Well, I definitely think that this is going to be strong a lot of the time. I just don't think that it's as like completely. Oh well, this completely. Like I had to play the first 10 turns totally differently than I would have otherwise because this card is around. I don't
For
think
sure.
that that's probably true.
For sure.
Like after you get it, or once you're getting close to getting it, then yeah, you're going to play a lot differently. But I think in the lead up to it, you're probably not going to play tons differently. Maybe a
I
little bit.
mean, it depends. I mean, I
I
have
mean,
had
Sure, sure.
I mean, I've had games where I just shoved like 8 courtyards into my deck. And it works with courtyard, right? Because you can cycle in, and you still can be guaranteed not to draw
Not to draw dead,
the traveler dead.
which
So it's
is
a little
important.
different. It's a
Sure.
big thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just basically just got courtyards and played the travelers until I got champion, and then
Sure.
I put in whatever payload.
Sure.
And that's
Well, I mean,
not.
I definitely imagine there will be some games that you play completely differently because this is something you're eventually going for. I just think, on average, most of the time, you're probably going to pretty much play a normal engine until you're getting close to having this online, and then you're going to just take a bunch of terminals.
I would say the only exception to that is you're going to
Well, there's probably
prioritize
lots of
thinning and
exceptions.
cycling a little more
Sure.
to make it come online sooner. But I agree
But
with the
you-
meat of what you're saying.
Generally do that in an engine anyway.
That's true,
Yeah.
but probably more. You know.
I mean,
Yeah, sure.
when I play this card, I over terminal my deck like pretty severely almost every time. But
Also, there was something mentioned in the chat. JSH says casual Dominion fans are going to love it, for the record, and I want to address this because during the several different iterations of this card line and also the peasant card line, like we printed out a lot of cards and I played a lot with this IRL. It is the first time you ever play with it IRL. You've got 5 cards to deal with. You're going to be overwhelmed, confused, and you are going to have more fun than like you've ever had playing Dominion. It's ridiculous how much fun it is. And your game is going to take 2 hours. And that's an exaggeration, by the way. But like this card, you can't not get it because it's good. And it's also a ton of fun. Your deck composition is constantly changing. There's a story that goes along with it, and
there's
at the
your
end,
face.
yeah, hi. There's a story that goes along with it. Plus, like you get this huge cool thing at the end, and then you get to do something that you never did before in Dominion. So like, it's really fun to play for experienced players, but like this is the thing that casual players remember, and this is the thing that gets talked about a lot.
Sure,
Champion and teacher.
Sure.
I think that's enough on Champion. What do you think?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should
so
probably
I'll
look at
say
the other
only-
cards in the line, though.
Yeah, let's do that.
I was gonna say something about the line, which is that the teacher line, you move through it pretty quickly actually, because several of them are or at least one of them is like a sifter, and then one of them or a cycler or whatever. And then the
You're
disciple,
picking up
you
the wrong
usually
line, Adam.
play on a cantrip. But
Lol.
anyways, this champion line, you move through it slower because you're adding treasures to your deck when you play
Yeah.
those a couple of the travelers, and none of I guess warrior cycles like a card, but the other 2 are anti-cycling as far as deck size and whatever. So
Yeah, well, Page
You
itself is a cantrip.
it's the
so
cantrip,
but-
yeah. So it's
fine,
neutral,
but
but the
yeah,
treasure hunter in particular can be a little annoying as far as trying to move through your
I,
deck.
I had someone tell me that they gained like 14 or 16 silvers off of it,
Yeah.
and I guess like at that point you kind of can't go uh for champion anymore. Like,
Right. Yeah, no, it would.
I mean, I
I
guess you
mean,
could,
sometimes,
but
yeah, sometimes you go in this like everybody gets their treasure hunter at the same hand, and so you just go around the. I mean, this
and it
doesn't
just keeps
happen in
like
two
building up and up
player,
and up.
but with like three or four, they just feed off each other, and
Dude,
then the
silver's a
last guy gains like 10.
I
silver's a
mean,
really good card.
I guess the other thing is like if I gain 16 silvers, maybe I don't need to go for that because I can just buy
Right.
province pretty often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're either
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
good
On
spot or you're like totally screwed, right? Either
the
it's like alt VP and you're totally screwed
oh
because they're playing a militia or something,
well,
or it's big money,
maybe
in which case you're fine
if
or
it's
province.
alt
I mean,
VP and it's gardens, you're probably okay.
yeah, Fiat.
Oh yeah, if it's Fiatum, you're probably better than okay.
But it the silvers could either really be screwing you over or quite
Yeah,
nice, and it's probably not. Well, when it's that many, it's probably not in between those two
but
things.
the line in general doesn't really look like it self synergizes. Like
No.
it kind of looks like it anti synergizes.
No, the line's a little weird. The peasant line feels a little more coherent actually, as
Yeah.
far as like them working together.
I mean, I've heard a lot of these comments said about Jack. Jack's not an engine card because it gives you silver. This is anti-synergy because it gives you silver. Well, silver, I mean, yes, I get it. You're not wrong.
Well,
But like silver's a good card sometimes. So
Yeah, but at some point there's a diminishing returns with the jack where it becomes obnoxious in
the
an engine.
the
that's
the
true.
thing the thing about gaining the silvers is it's not even so much that it's necessarily bad. It's just that if I gain 5 silvers with this, like it's gonna make it harder for me to do the broken things with champion. And maybe it doesn't actually make my deck that much worse. Maybe it does, but it's gonna take me longer to get to champion. And if that's my whole game plan, it's not advancing that.
Okay, so but if you're gonna go for that, and if the silvers make that huge difference, then your deck has to be super thin, right? You're going for a really trim deck that can't function because maybe your draw is weak or something like
Well,
that.
I'm kind of
I think we're talking about the case where you get like an absurd number of silvers,
well,
probably.
I was saying like 5. Like I don't
Yeah,
imagine that getting 14 or something is really a common thing because
right.
it has to be like your opponent has some huge engine already, in which case you're probably losing anyway, or you just don't play this.
Yeah. I mean, in two player, you're looking at like three max most of the
Yeah,
time.
which is maybe sometimes you would rather not have the 3, but like it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah. No, the funny ones are only with multiplayer, but
Anyway, the point I was trying to make is in that deck that really needs to be super thin. Like you're gonna thin down before you do this stuff anyway. So like the silvers,
well,
Aren't
I
you going to
think
do them? Aren't you
you
going to do
could
it at
be
the same
thinning
time?
down while you do it. I mean, it'll
Like
it'll
I open Chapel Page.
right.
yeah,
I
They
imagine you usually want to open with Page if you want Page.
yeah
Usually,
yeah.
yeah.
The trashing
just
is going to
because
be pretty much coincident with the silver gaining.
you want to get it going as soon as you can. Because it's not like you can. It would be different if you could exchange, like if it exchanged right after you played it instead of at the end of the turn, because you could
Yeah,
crank through them all like in the same turn or something.
yeah, but you can't.
But as it is, like it's gonna take you 5 shovels.
Yep. So I think that covers Hero and Treasure Hunter pretty well. Warrior, there's this attack for each traveler you have in play, including this. Each other player discards the top of his deck and trashes it if it costs 3 or 4. So like, it draws cards. It does give you 2 cards, which maybe if you're desperate for draw. But I mean, if you're desperate for draw, you're gonna go through all this trouble to get a card that gives you 2 cards, and there's only 5 of them. Eh. I can see it being mildly helpful, but not something you base your strategy around.
Well, to me, it's something that is more like it helps you as a step. Like if I have, because I'm building an engine if I want this, and so being able to draw through a little bit faster
For
is
sure.
nice.
Yeah.
Not that, oh man, I'm gonna get a bunch of warriors. I don't think there's. I mean, I guess maybe treasure hunter can be a strategy. Like I'm gonna go for treasure hunters and gain a lot of silvers, but I kind of doubt it. I think generally, if you're getting these, at least this line, I think it's got to be well, like I want to get to champion.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. What about this attack? Do you think you could ever base a strategy around this warrior attack?
I mean,
Well,
only
I'm,
you
I'm
would
sure
only
you
like
could, but I doubt that it would often be good. I mean, I'm sure you can construct an edge case, but
you would only rely on it if you knew if your opponent didn't get champion, because then you're
Yeah,
not going
that's
to
true.
destroy their deck. They have champion.
That's very true. Yeah.
The thing with the warrior is just warriors hitting treasure hunters or warriors,
yeah,
and
which
then
is probably going to be pretty backbreaking, right?
and
Probably.
and then beyond that, it requires somebody to like skip the champion because otherwise they have the protection. If they do skip, let's say they skip the champion for whatever reason. I haven't done it. I don't think. I don't know if it was ever done to me, but you could get like multiple pages and then have the warrior attack be pretty devastating.
Well, I mean, their deck also needs to be reliant on 3 and 4
Threes and
costs,
fours, sure.
which not that many decks. Like
Yeah.
usually, if you would want it to include 5 if you're going to be able to take out many decks. I mean, I guess there's probably some that like hitting several silvers is going to really hurt their money deck, but like you really need to be able to churn through them, and there are only 5 of these, so
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was. I think we can be done with the champion line.
Sure.
Cool. So let's talk about peasant. Yeah. Where are you, peasant? Here you are. The JSH is probably mad at me because I'm gonna do this the whole time instead of typing in URLs. Sorry, buddy. So peasant gives you $1 and a buy, and then it upgrades.
that's pleasant.
Yeah. That was a good one. And it
It really
upgrades
wasn't.
into this teacher. So, first of all, it's a reserve card, which means you don't even get the benefit when you play it. You have to wait. After you've waited 5 turns, however many turns to cycle 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get teacher, you play it and you still don't get the benefit. You have to wait yet another turn. So that's even more delay, higher opportunity cost for teacher than for page and
Right.
champion.
Yes.
And then at the start of your next turn, you get to put a token on a pile that doesn't have a token on it. So when I have to say that when I go for teacher and I have my strategy, I'm like, yeah, teacher can make this work because I can make there's a smithy here, and I'm gonna make them non-terminal.
Isn't that because there's any action whatsoever here? Like, you probably need more than one, because it's probably not worth it just to get one. But, like, there's
Sure.
3 action cards, and I can get to this fast enough. It
Right,
gives me enormous payload.
right. It supercharges your payload. It makes decks viable that weren't before. And so if teacher's a part of what you're doing, then I mean, the thing that always gets me, and it still gets me, even though I've played several teacher games, is that this whole like you can't put the token on a pile
On
that
the
already has
same
a token
thing.
on. Like
Yeah.
that's actually kind of a big deal because
Oh,
with the
yeah.
tokens, well, like let's say with Lost Arts and the events that do the tokens,
Right.
like you basically want them all on the same card, ideally
And-
speaking, because
And you want a lot of that card.
yeah, you want as many of the bonuses.
Right.
You put the token on the card you're going to play the most, and then you get the most bonuses, and then you're happy. With teacher, you definitely can't do that. And
Right.
so, for you to get the full value out of teacher, I mean, there are 4 tokens here. Teacher lets you do them all, but like, you have to have 4 cards in your engine that you're willing to play a lot of, and that's not really the case very often. It's not nearly. It's not the case nearly as often as one would think it is. At least I would think it is.
Well, the thing is, like, champion, it gives it to you for all of your actions. They all have the plus action. This is potentially more powerful, but you need to have lots of different actions you want to play already. and because you're gonna want to have lots of at least 4 different actions in your deck.
So
Keep going. I need to.
So in practice, I find you don't really have multiple targets for the teacher. You just have one cantrip that you want to do the plus cards to,
Hmm.
and just have a stack of labs plus whatever bonus that cantrip gives you. Um,
Hmm.
and then you'll sometimes, I mean, it depends, but that's the main thing is to just have
Is that
the
is that worth
draw.
it?
Uh, I mean, yeah, usually. The The other thing is if you're trashed and you have a bunch of cantrips, you might take um, the money one first. But
Sure.
most of the times you just take plus cards. Like I don't
No,
know.
I
For
mean,
instance, the last
when I'm saying is it worth it, I don't mean is it worth it to take the cards. Like I'm sure that that's got to be the best
I mean, is it a
bonus most of the
strategy?
time.
I mean, the
I'm
last
saying is that worth it to go for teacher if at the end of the day you've just turned all your cantrips into labs and it took
I
you so
mean,
long to do this.
it doesn't take so long, depending. Uh,
Well, I
the
mean, I'm
the
just
teacher
saying like
line actually moves fairly quickly. But I like, for instance, I don't know. The last game I played with teacher, I had 10 pawns, and so I put
pawn
cards
seems
on the
great.
pawn, and
Sure.
and I have the pawns, and it wasn't, and there were then once you have the draw engine, and with pawn, of course, you have the buys too. Uh, then I could you know do other
Then
things as
you
well.
get some other kind of action.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and usually you have some other actions in your deck too. You
Right.
know, through the course of these turns, you weren't doing nothing. You weren't necessarily just buying the cantrip, but um,
Okay. Sure. You you eventually want to stick other tokens on other things, like
yeah,
always, right?
if
Y-
you
Yeah,
have
my
time
point, well, yeah, but if you don't have time to, then I'm thinking it probably wasn't worth it to go for this.
well, it
But
may be. I mean, let's say two people are going for it.
sure.
Like, I mean, if let's say one person goes for it and the other ignores it, then you might have time to do multiple tokens. But if both people go for it, and let's say we picked different piles,
Right.
then there's two
Would
low
you
piles already, and then
th
one person gets cards and the game can
this
be close
is
to over.
this is something I've wondered about. Like, do you normally get different piles? Like, let's
So
say you're both going for this, not just with teacher, but with all these token cards. Like,
it depends. Sometimes and I'm not sure. This is actually an interesting strategy question, but I have seen people like not follow me on a pile because I guess they feel like they're behind on it, and then I
uh-huh.
get all of them right,
And then
and
you just have this
and
amazing,
then I just crush them. Um,
right.
and so I don't actually know. I mean, there's got to be some balance between contesting and then but
I
then sometimes people switch to some other pile and try and do their own thing just because they want to have a lot of whatever they're trying to do. But
I would think you would almost always want to contest.
I am kind of leaning that way more, but I honestly haven't played recently with enough games with this to
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
how they went because it was a while ago and we were all play testing this actively.
right.
Um, so yeah, a lot of times people do pick their own pile for whatever reason. I don't know if that's right or wrong, and I'm sure it just depends. But
So you're saying you don't normally see people like two different players putting their tokens all on the same pile?
Well, you
I mean,
can't
sometimes
with teacher.
I I don't know. Like it kind of seems like more of a tactical decision. Like yes, you want tokens, you want to buy cards with the idea of tokens, but like if I've got 5 of a card versus 3 of a card versus 7 of a card, like I'm gonna prioritize my tokens that way, and that may be different because if I have 7, my opponent's gonna have 3 or something.
yeah, but we're talking about whether like if you see me starting to go after the minstrels, let's say, do you contest me on the minstrels or do you pick up workers' villages instead? Right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's tough.
Is the what we were kind of discussing.
Yeah, and I just want to go out and say this. I think I'm pretty bad with teacher. JSYK guys. This is a hard card to play correctly because It's very slow, payload's big, but it's also delicate, and it's really easy to just not
mean,
get the most out of it.
Hugo
Well,
VJ says acknowledging Scout is the best card ever. Like, if you no, but honestly, like, if you need another pile of actions, to stick something on, like, if you stick any of these bonuses on it, well, at least card action or money, like, it's not really that bad of a card anymore.
Right.
And then you won't be contested on the scout pile normally.
Well, yeah.
I've
That's
I
that's
mean-
fine, but like just because Prince of Scout is amazing doesn't mean you should get a Scout because you can just
Well,
print
no,
something else. It's the same thing,
the-
right?
What I'm saying is, like, if there are no other action piles that, or there aren't any that you can, like, the other option is like adventurer. Like, maybe you have enough money to get a bunch of adventurers, but
Or maybe you just
don't
have a
really.
kingdom that's like just Silk Road, Fairgrounds, Vineyard, and like the only action is scout, and then you're like, yeah, you got a scout, and I'm gonna throw tokens on it.
I'm
I'll
just
play
gonna
big
say
money.
that like I'd be really surprised if that was ever good under any
I don't
circumstance.
remember us doing a hilarious scout token thing.
No,
It's
I
gonna
can't
happen
imagine
now.
It's 1 in 1,000 games that both of these are on the board or something. Like,
Oh, yeah, I'm guessing there's normally going to be a better target than Scout for Teacher. I definitely have not played it as much as you guys have yet. The
Well,
couple
you've
times
played
I
it more
have
than
Well,
I
you've
have.
played it more than one.
True.
played any of these at all.
No, my favorite game was Peasant and Giant. I think it was my first game with Giant, and I got to Teacher as fast as I could, and then I dumped the plus action token on Giant, and I just played like 4 Giants every turn. And I think I was playing against Jaunts, and I just wrecked his deck.
I bet you made a lot of friends doing that, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
lots.
Dominion, it's how you make friends.
Yeah.
See, this is interesting. Ella says that she likes Champ better because she thinks that Teacher is going to be really hard to play. I think that would make me like Teacher better.
Of course,
I tend
it
to
makes
like things
you
that are
like
hard to
Teacher
play.
better, Wandering Winder, and right, like Champion makes it takes strategic space away from the game, right? Once you have a champion, there's less things you have to think
Well,
about.
Yeah, that's
But it
why.
doesn't
Yes, once
really
you have
take-
one,
Yeah.
you have to worry about getting one and getting
Right.
to get one in a good position. So,
Right,
I mean,
so it's an easier card to play.
it
No.
does take some strategic space away, but it also adds other strategic space.
Mick-
so
Well, the thing
Mickey,
is that
I'm
it's
not
harder
saying
to
which.
get to champion. It's easier to get to teacher because you have cards like fugitive and disciple that cycle your deck a little faster. Champion, you've got treasure hunter, you've got hero, and you've got warrior that are dumping things in your deck and possibly trashing things from your deck.
Well, speaking of which, we should probably look at those other cards in the line
Yeah, we could.
at this point.
Yeah. So
Thanks,
we can
thanks for
move
your
faster.
snark, Mick. Yeah, we definitely
I
need
don't-
to move faster because
I
I don't
don't
have enough
think-
time to get through everything.
I
at
don't
this rate.
think either champion or teacher is particularly easier or harder to play, one or the other. I mean, there's like basic things you can do with both, and the basic thing with teacher
Yeah.
is have a bunch of copies of a cantrip.
That
right?
makes
And
sense.
then another action that you have at least a few copies of to put the
Right.
money one on or the buy one on or the actions, whatever.
Right.
But the big thing is actually getting card draw, and so you usually just want a cantrip. It depends. If you have good trashing, then you might choose money first. But
Sure.
Okay. Let's talk about the steps in between. I actually want to talk about Disciple first. It's the $5 step. You may play an action.
It's my favorite.
You may play an action card from your hand twice, gain a copy of it. In my experience, and I know there are cases where you want to stop on every level here, but in my experience, Disciple is the one you want to stop on the most. So like it's, I mean, this is a
Including Teacher?
I think you
no,
mean
not
before.
including teacher, but like
Oh,
you don't,
okay,
you definitely don't want more than one teacher, right? And so
Right.
like,
Probably not.
okay, I'm speaking. I'm not speaking. I understand that there's always an edge case in Dominion.
No, I don't mean edge casey. I mean just because, like, I can crank them out. I can crank out playing them faster. But yes, I agree. Probably, like,
Sure.
I don't know. But
Sure.
yes, I probably agree with you.
But like there are games where I've gotten multiple peasants so that I could have disciples along with my teacher because this thing is really good. Now
Well, and
it's
it synergizes with Teacher because it gives you extra copies of actions
Yes.
you have.
right. That's a big deal. So like this is like the good parts of Throne Room and the good parts of Procession and sort of mashed into one thing that's hard to get. And I know that's not entirely accurate, but like that makes
Yeah,
it
rough.
really freaking good. So it's a good card.
It's a good
Yeah, it's
card.
awesome.
Soldier and fugitive. Wait, soldier and fugitive. Soldier first. Soldier. This is the 3-1. I want to go as out of order as possible.
653. Okay.
Yeah.
How often do you guys, when playing with Soldier, do you actually get like extra coin on it?
I've never done it before. Ever.
So, Scrying Pool.
Like it's
I had one
basically
of those ones.
it's basically
pretty good.
Scrying Pool and Urchin, right?
Spy.
Yeah.
Those are the only
It's-
good attacks that are
I
non-terminal.
mean, Margrave is not terrible. Anything spammable or somewhat spammable. You might be playing.
Most attacks are terminal, so
But
Right.
by the time you're spamming Margraves, though, are you really gonna still have a soldier?
Probably not.
maybe if I'm trying to get a second,
but it's
what's
possible.
the $5 one that we just looked at?
Disciple.
Disciple.
If I'm
I mean,
trying to get
that's
another
the
disciple, I
big-
might.
The big one is Scrying Pool.
Minion. That was the one I was missing. Thank you, Mustang. I forgot.
If
to say
I were
Minion.
doing like a Margrave engine, I might save a Soldier if I was like strapped for cash and really didn't want treasures. Because then I've got a bunch of attacks in play. Okay, I'll put a Soldier and get like 6 coins or something.
Yeah, there can be synergy there if you're looking for coin payload. Soldier can definitely be a part
Spy
of
might
that.
be fine because it's a cantrip that you can stick stuff onto at the end of the line.
Hmm.
I mean, you have
I
to
don't know.
gain a bunch of spies, but hey, if you
Sure,
got a
but-
teacher, maybe you want to gain a bunch of spies, right? That's not
Yeah,
terrible.
that's what I'm saying. Is like it's relatively cheap. It's a it's a cantrip. Yeah.
Then you can disciple your spies and get more of them, and just annoy the fuck out of everyone you're playing against. And they're like, "No, not another spy! Why did you put
Whoa,
tokens on
whoa.
spy?"
Adam, your mom could be watching.
Yeah, as long as I don't say it, it's okay.
Okay.
But,
Hi,
I'll
Adam's mom.
By the way,
Mom.
I'm sure she appreciates that, but I also know the chances of her actually watching are basically zero. But if the next time I talk to her, she says hi back, I will let you guys know.
Oh, she'll say hi back.
If she heard you say hi, she'd probably say hi back, because she's that kind of lady.
Now, would she say hi in response to me, or would she say the phrase "hi back"?
I don't know. I could see it going either way. So the fugitive, we all know I saved this for last because of the artwork, right? I mean, look at that. Look at that guy. Look at him.
It's such a stereotypical fugitive, yeah.
I mean, he looks genuinely concerned,
I
but
would
like
never be sarcastic. Never.
Man, the cops are after me. Gotta
That's-
stash the weed.
that's the typical paranoid stoner face, right? Like that's really something. But anyway, fugitive it's a cantrip. It sifts for you, right? I mean, it's a good card. Is it worth stopping on? I mean, it's disciple. It's right before disciple. You want a disciple instead. It's way better. I mean, maybe not all the time, but
Yeah, fugitive is the one you skip past. There you go. That's the end of it.
yep, great. Okay. That's anyone else have anything to say about fugitive?
Well, it sifts towards your other stuff. It cycles you faster, so you can play your travelers faster and exchange them faster.
Yep.
That's about
It's
it.
a thing.
Great. Okay, let's move on. We've talked about Coin of the Realm in the previews. Let's move on to Ratcatcher. Ratcatcher's so good.
So I
Ratcatcher.
love how in the German leak thing that was all fuzzy, it looked like a guy in a fedora and a trench coat with just an enormous nose, and it looked terrible. It definitely looks a lot better now that I can see what it actually is.
Yeah, I don't remember the blurry thing too well, but that's the thing. Let me go ahead and read the card text. It's $2 action reserve. It's card action when you play it, and then it goes to your tavern mat, and you call it at the start of your turn. When you call it, you get to trash a card from your hand. Okay, so it's a trasher. It is a cantrip, but it's kind of slow because you can't use it to trash on the same turn that you played. So it has that. I talked about this with Transmogrify, right? If you open with it, you have to draw it turn 3 in order to use it, or else it's going to miss a shuffle. So
Yeah.
it suffers from the same pace problem, although it is cantrip, so not like that with Transmogrify. Those are the things I wanted to say.
I like Ratcatcher. I played with it a couple times at the meetup. I proxy played with it a couple times. It's definitely slow. I'll give you that. If you get more than one copy of it, like just get like two or three Ratcatchers, they sort of evens out, and it turns into pretty decent trashing. And then once you're done trashing, they just stay on your tavern mat until like you're cursed or something. It's definitely good in cursing games.
Yeah,
I,
I've found that like you know how Forager, like I always consider strong trashers to be cards that remove two or more bad cards from your deck each time you play them. But like Forager's kind of the exception because it's
Well,
non-terminal, and so
Junk Dealer.
you can trash a lot faster. And also a junk
Great.
dealer, but you can rarely open junk dealer. But
Well,
like with Forager
my thought is, Junk Dealer and Upgrade are so good. I definitely consider them pretty strong trashing.
right, and it's because they're
Um,
non-terminal and you can spam them. And so
well, they also
Ratcatcher gives you the same
cantrip.
thing.
And
Yeah.
Ratcatcher gives you that. It doesn't give you the money, and it's a bit slower, but like just cantrip trash would be a very strong forecast, I think. Like
Yeah.
probably maybe too strong.
I mean, I
Um,
don't think it could cost four because Rats is slightly worse than that.
Well,
We would all laugh at
sometimes.
rats.
This is slower, but like I have to imagine that it's not the greatest trashing, but like if there isn't other trashing that's like trashing for trashing's sake. I mean, like if there's Salvager or Apprentice or something, whatever, you're still gonna get this, I imagine.
Yeah, this is. I mean, Ratcatcher's good, and it's good early. I have to say that later on it suffers from the problem with if you didn't draw the cards you wanted to trash in your opening hand. Well, Ratcatcher can't trash it. Like you can't draw your deck and then play your Ratcatcher to trash the card that you drew after you're already drawing. You can't get super thin with Ratcatcher that way. So there is some limitation, and its utility decreases as the game goes on. But then it just sits on
Sure.
your tavern mat, whatever, no bigs.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Ratcatcher and Transmogrify, I feel, both synergize with Guide, so that if you don't have what you're looking for in your first hand and you still want to use those cards, well, let's just shuffle it over and try something
Are there
else.
very many cards that don't synergize with Guide?
I mean, you can say that,
It's
but
like the new Watchtower.
It's the watchtower of itself.
okay, you can say that about Pearl Diver too, but like, it's a cantrip. Everything's center. But the point I wanted to make though was, if I have a guide on my mat and I'm gonna pop my guide because I didn't find something that I wanted to trash in my hand. Like I'm not popping my guide for that. Now the other situation with guide is I have a handful of coppers, 3 rat catchers on my mat and a guide. I trash all of my coppers and then guide to refresh
Right.
my hand.
That's definitely better.
That's much more explosive, although still probably about as useful as the first one. I don't know. I just don't see it happening all that often. When you can pull it off, super hot and sexy, but I'm not going to
Man,
build
I
my
don't-
strategy around it.
I don't think I've ever found anything in Dominion actually sexy.
Oh, do I need to pull up the image of Sea Hag?
Yes, you do.
No, not Hack. Pull up Borrow. That right there is a sexy artwork.
We'll get to that in just a second, but right now I just need to look at this Sea Hag. I'm sorry, I can't not do it. Oh yeah,
Hey, go
look
hey,
at
go
that.
to the next card while you do that.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. The moonlight, it's just, oh, there's nothing better.
The moonlight.
Look at that moonlight on her hair. It's so good. I need to lotion my hands real quick. So anyway, is that about enough for Ratcatcher?
Yeah, I think we've covered that. It's good.
I'm
it's
still
cheap.
on the moonlight, man.
I mean, who isn't on that moonlight still? There ain't nothing better. Great. Let's talk about Rays.
Raise is weird. Raise is interesting.
Cool. Let's read the text on Rays because the quality's a little janky. $2 action Rays. It gives you an action, non-terminal, and then some text. Trash this or a card from your hand. Look at a number of cards from the top of your deck equal to the cost in coins of the trash card. Put one of them in your hand and discard the rest. So unless you're trashing copper, it's cantrip. It gives you sifting ability. If you trash copper, it's apprentice trashing copper, sad. And you can sacrifice Raise itself when it's no longer useful for a decent cantrip effect. So Raise and Ratcatcher together, we've got these 2 trashers that
Yeah.
remove themselves from your deck when you're done with them.
They're also both non-terminal.
Yes,
Mhm.
they're cheap and they're non-terminal. You can open with them, and that's a big freaking deal. That makes the card way better.
This card seems to me like it's probably a little bit better than Ratcatcher.
Yeah, if
Why do you say
there
that?
was Raise and Ratcatcher in the
Why do I
kingdom,
say that?
I'll Raise first.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I just want to hear you say it.
Because it doesn't ever have the kind of missing the shuffle problem so much. Well, not that it never does, but it doesn't have it as much.
Okay.
Plus, if I'm playing an engine, it's a lot easier to keep clean with this than it is. Like if I'm getting curse attacked somehow, like I can draw a lot of cards and then play this. I don't have to do it at the beginning of my turn.
Sure. Okay, so I ask you a not rhetorical question, devil's
Yeah.
advocate question. But
Sure.
Ratcatcher doesn't mind trashing coppers, and this
Yeah.
one does. So maybe there's a place for both? Question mark.
Well, yeah, no, it's not like strictly better or anything. I'm saying I think on balance this is probably a little bit better. But there could easily be situations where I would prefer to have Ratcatcher.
Okay. Cool.
So I would probably get both, but I would probably get Raise first.
Would you open Raise Ratcatcher?
I wouldn't do that.
Maybe if
I-
Stonemason was on the board.
I might do that. Rarely, but I mean,
I mean, if I'm opening Raise and Ratcatcher, that's saying that there's nothing else really worth opening on the board. But then why am I going for an engine anyway?
because
Because it all costs 5. Raw! I know.
Well, if it all costs 5, I think you really don't want to do
Then
that.
you want a silver, yeah! Silver's a good
That's-
card, remember?
It's for peddlers.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There's your reason right there.
Okay.
That's not really a good reason, but
It's a
but,
reason.
you know, but it's a reason.
It's better than anything I said.
I love how reserves complicate Conspirator and Peddler because, like, they activate Peddler when you play them, but not when they call them. They activate Peddler when you call them, but not when you play them.
Yeah, and
You
this
just
is
said
why
You said the same card twice, but that's fine.
this is why I
said
just read
Conspirator and
the
I said
card.
Peddler.
This is why I just read the card every single game I play with them, though, because I just never want to bother keeping it straight. And if they're both in the same game, well, I'm just gonna play a bunch of actions anyway. Let's hope it doesn't matter, because I don't want to get
That's true.
confused, man.
I mean, if you think about it, though, like this isn't that much worse than Forager. Sometimes it could be better.
Oh yeah, card is usually better than dollar in a vacuum, right?
Well, and like turn 1, like I don't like opening Forager all the time because a lot of times the first thing I want to trash are my estates.
Yeah.
In which case, it ain't giving me any money.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is, I even think this is probably a slightly better opener than Forager, but then Forager is going to quickly outclass it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, what I might do with Raise, like if it's Raise Moneylender, I would probably open both, use Raise to get rid of my estates, Moneylender to get rid of my coppers, and then when I get rid of all my coppers, I'll raise the Moneylender and then raise the
Sure.
Raise.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
there's seems like there's really good synergy there actually, because Moneylender provides you money where this provides you cycling. They're complementary. They could
Yeah,
be
so-
the long lost lovers from different.
I do want to
expansions.
note, because I think I've seen some people get this wrong, you only draw one of the revealed cards.
That's right.
You cannot draw more than one.
Yeah.
Right.
Someone was
Oh.
talking about trashing like expensive stuff to it a lot. Like you
I-
just don't,
I-
you don't do that.
You
Well-
basically don't like ever feel good doing that, right?
And
You just
yeah, I'm
do it
like,
when your turn is ending and it's late in the game and you have to draw something.
right. I'm sure there's sometimes you do it, but it's not really your game plan.
I mean, even if I do it, then I still don't feel good about it, right?
Like I
Well,
might
I don't know.
raise my
It might be
sea-
that like I need to find
might be
one
the
card
winning
and I'll win the
thing.
game. Like,
Okay.
you know, I'm gonna trash my peddler because if I can find goons,
should
I can
make
buy
you
the
feel
last 2
pretty good.
estates. You know.
Okay, then that would make me feel good. Fine, you edge cased me, guys. You did it.
I don't know if that okay.
I mean, I don't know if I feel good about it, but I don't know that I don't feel good about it.
Usually when I win games, I don't feel all that good. So I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think Raise likes cards that are good early game, but then lose their usefulness, like Sea Hag, Moneylender, things like that.
I kind of agree with what JSH was saying on Saturday, though. Like, what is this guy in the art? Like, he's ripping up a tapestry and then somehow raising the building?
I thought you like set it on fire when you raise it, right? Isn't that a thing?
Slow,
Yeah,
slow
that's
what I
motion
was
raising.
Does he have a
Darn it.
match? It looks
To
like there's
me,
some
like,
marks on the curtain here. Yeah.
If that was a load-bearing tapestry, you could be raising a building.
That's it. That's probably it. Yeah.
It's the magical tapestry that supports the entire building.
Someone clearly has already
It's
tried
like an
this.
arch.
It-
It's the key tapestry. It
It looks
supports
like
all
he's
the.
like. It
It
looks
just
like his
ties the whole room together.
It's like
his
in
left
the
foot is like bracing him to like really put a lot of effort into it too. It's up
Yeah, I
against the
don't-
wall.
Oh, well, maybe it's like a board. Like it's definitely kind of fuzzy art, but it could
There's
be like
just
a.
this
he's
there's
he's
this piece of plywood on the side of this
Is
stone
this
building.
this is the beggar though, right? Like this is the guy from the beggar art?
you mean the artist or
Uh,
the person
I
in the
don't
picture?
think so.
No, I mean the guy depicted.
No, definitely not. The beggar has a huge white beard.
Well, you can't see this guy's face because he's.
That
You-
definitely looks like he's either clean shaven or his beard is small and brown.
Maybe it's the beggar when he was younger.
Yeah,
his
so
younger
His
days.
raising days.
Time
Then he
traveling.
got sent to
we're mixing
medieval
Dominion with
prison.
Temporum.
He came out and he was poor then.
Was it that guy? Yeah. I don't think you. I mean, he's got the
What
same hood thing, I guess.
What card's next, Adam?
Okay, fine. We'll do the next one. Thanks. Maxine. Okay,
Someone
appreciate
doesn't
that.
want to be here for the next 4 hours.
Yeah. I can't. I can't. So
It's got to be good for everybody involved to move.
Nonsense. That
some-
that artist needs his love.
so we did Amulet last time.
Hmm.
I
I like
want to
that
say
guy.
that I'm glad that in your comment about Amulet, you were talking about how bad it is to draw it, like how much better it is on turn 3.
Yeah.
Just like people are not gonna get that, and like it's something that I find that Mick talks about a lot. Like there's a lot more swinginess in this game than people realize. Like whether you get that card on turn 3 or 4 is a big deal, but people aren't gonna realize that because it doesn't feel like it's a big difference.
Hmm.
It.
I don't even remember saying that, but thank you for that.
I know. I've.
You
I
haven't
know
said it.
said
You haven't said
before.
it about this particular card, Mick. I'm saying in general,
Oh, I
like you
see,
talk
I
about.
see. Okay. Yeah, I tried to. So
So there's this caravan guard here. I'm-
Because people will complain about certain cards being swingy, and
Yeah.
you're like, well, the whole game's swingy, you know.
yeah.
Emusil. So there's this caravan guard here. I'll go ahead and read the text. It's a $3 billion type card. It's a cantrip, and then it stays out for your next turn. It says at the start of your next turn, $1. And then so it's a cantrip now, and then it gives you $1 next turn, like the lighthouse benefit. And then there's this reaction part. When another player plays an attack card, you may play this from your hand. You're playing a card. Someone else's turn. Raw. Okay, well, why does that matter? What does it actually get for you? It means you don't have to wait the extra turn for the $1, right? You get it this turn instead of next turn. So
Right.
like the flavor of benefit that you get from your opponent playing an attack card is now speeding up the pace at which you get your $1, and which you potentially
is-
cycle your caravan guard back
Which
into
is
your
pretty
deck.
good though, because like it turns it into a $3 peddler, and it misses the
Mhm.
shuffle less often.
Right. Now, I was arguing this with Ehalkian a little earlier. Would you say that Caravan Guard counters Bridge Troll?
No. Caravan card doesn't counter anything.
Doesn't counter anything. It just responds to an attack and it does its thing. It's not a counter.
I mean, sometimes
I
it
I honestly
negates-
don't even remember what Bridge Troll does, but
It's the attack that
Bridge
increases
Troll
cost
gives you
on
a
your turn.
minus point token.
no. The minus $1
That's
coin. Yeah, it sounds weird
Relic.
saying coin token like that, but yes, the -1 coin token.
I mean, sometimes it will precisely negate the effect of the attack, but I mean, the attack still went through, so I wouldn't say that it counters it. It just happened to undo it in that case.
I mean, Caravan Guard does not really counter attacks. It
Just benefits
just-
a little bit.
right.
I mean, it's an okay card. It's cantrip. It gives you $1, and it's worse than peddler. I mean, they're good to have. They're cantrips. You probably want a lot of them if you can gain a lot of them without too much opportunity cost. But I would say the reaction part, while unique and complex in its own way, it's not something that's terribly different from cards that already exist in terms of how you play with it.
It's also the only action you can play during a buy phase. Because if someone plays Relic,
sure.
Sure. I'm not gonna. Anyway, is that all for Caravan Guard though? I don't really
Well-
think I have that much more to say about it.
How good is it?
It's okay.
It's
It's not very good, but
it's
not
worse
the
than
worst.
Peddler, and it's cheaper than Peddler. Does
Uh,
basically the same thing, right?
I will say that sometimes I would underestimate how good the reaction part was in terms of how strong I thought my opponent's deck was when they had a bunch
Yeah.
of them
Yeah,
and I had an attack.
JSH crushed me in a game using
I
the
think
reaction Caravan Guard.
the thing about it is like it has kind of the same thing as Caravan. Like Caravan's just a cheap lab, and it's got to be so good. But then in practice, it's not that good because it misses a shuffle like a lot. Um,
Yeah.
and like if it were Peddler for 3, it would be probably the best card in the game. But it's gonna miss a shuffle a lot, and it only gives you the effect like half as much, basically. So it's probably a fine card that you're gonna want reasonably often, but it's never gonna be like that card made my strategy.
Yeah, I'd say it's about right.
I mean, I
Okay,
buy them when I want some money, but not silver.
but you don't want silver. Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much. And the presence of an attack they're playing consistently pushes you towards them a little bit. So,
Right.
but not like the hugest thing.
Probably pretty decent against like Scrying Pool. But not, great.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Let's talk about Dungeon now. So it's a $3 action duration. It's non-terminal when you play it, and then now at the start of your next turn, plus 2 cards and discard 2 cards. So it's like a warehouse, mini warehouse this turn, and then a mini warehouse next turn, only better next turn because it didn't cost you a card.
Definitely better next turn.
So it's a mini warehouse this turn and a better warehouse.
Well, it's probably better next turn. The thing is, like, if you're playing it at the start of your turn, then yeah, it's better next turn. But if I played Village Smithy or Village Smithy and I'm looking for my next village, like,
Sure.
I have more cards when I play it now then. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it
They're
depends.
They're just different.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, you're going to put them in the same decks, right? I mean, they both serve the same purpose. You want sifting. And this will get it for
warehouse?
you. Yes, Dungeon and Warehouse.
I imagine this is probably usually slightly better, but
Pardon me.
you're pardoned.
Thank you. But it is a duration and it has the missing shuffle thing. So, it's different. If you ever get to choose between the two, I don't know. I'd probably
look
get
at the rest of the board.
two of these and then maybe a warehouse or maybe open warehouse and get 1 or 2. I don't know. I mean, this gives you reliability at the start of your turn. That's kind of cool. So you probably want one in play. Yeah.
Well, I think with the durations and the whole missing the shuffle thing, if you've got an engine from your durations going where you're drawing your entire deck every turn, then as long as you have like some to play this turn, some to play next turn, it doesn't really matter because then you're just swapping out new ones.
Oh, having multiple dungeons, duration dungeons, is like kind of meh. Like
Well,
one
not
usually
dungeons
does the job.
specifically, but like
Right.
I think he means like
cards,
Wharf.
yeah, or Haunted Woods or something.
Sure. Yeah. I actually don't have anything else to say about dungeon.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, there's not much to
It's just-
say about them.
it's just
It's
so
so
similar to
to
Warehouse,
Warehouse. Yeah,
So
Good with tunnel. Hey.
gear.
I imagine it is.
Oh yeah. Gear. Another $3 action duration. So it's 2 cards and then the text. Set aside up to 2 cards from your hand face down. At the start of your next turn, put them into your hand. So it's like the Haven, right? It's terminal
Yes.
draw instead of the cantrip, but then you can Haven up to 2, 0, 1, or 2. So the Haven is more flexible. The top part is different, sometimes better, sometimes worse, and it costs more.
I
So-
want to note for people that if you don't set any aside, this gets cleaned up and doesn't stay out.
Yeah. So you can sidestep the shuffle missing if that's something that you're concerned about and that's something that you want to do. So again, with the
Or if
flexibility.
you
You just have
don't have
nothing
anything
to
you don't
put
want to
back.
set aside. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, for those of you who've played a lot with this, how well would you say it plays with big money?
I remember this card used to cost 5 and it was different, and then I remember it was this in its final form, and I was like, how does this not cost 5? This card is excessively broken. Like gear is amazing. Okay,
Really?
big money, it's amazing. Like
Really?
yes, and in engines it is
I don't know.
amazing. Like gear, this card is ridiculous. This
See,
card
'cause
is so powerful.
my thought
That's how
is that
good it
this
is.
card is going to be very overrated.
Okay, you go right ahead, bro. This card is amazing.
This card does not amaze me.
You know what? I don't care that both of you are really good players at Dominion, and you're trying to
What?
downplay what I said. This card is
I've never
freaking
played
amazing.
with the card, so I
I
Yes.
tend
did.
to trust your opinion more than mine. But
This card is ridiculous, Wandering Winder. You're gonna have to believe me on it, okay?
Like, I'm not even sure about the overrating. Like, from what I've been reading on the forums, most people are like, eh.
Right.
So,
And so I'm just trying to push it in the other direction.
well, mostly I think people are going to overrate it because they're going to think that it's good for big money, which
Well,
like
it
there are
is.
people who are telling me that it's like, oh, it's so much better than Courtyard for big money.
Well,
And
it
I have
is.
to imagine it's probably worse because you get to look at
Worse.
one fewer card. And I know you get to have a bigger hand than 6 next turn, but
I didn't
The other
actually
thing-
do the gear big money very much at all, so I can't speak to its strength. But I don't expect
the other
it
thing
to
is
be
like
much different from Courtyard.
people love Haven. They love their Havens, and like
Yeah.
oh, I hate
Haven is
Haven.
not a very good card.
It's not, especially because you can't do multiples. Like, ugh.
like, half the time I'm playing Haven,
you
I end up
could.
havening an estate because I don't want to give up any of my cards from this
Yeah.
turn, and then that's just terrible because then I have an estate
Yeah,
for my
yeah,
next.
like if you're lucky, you made it miss a shuffle. GJ, bro. YDI.
Just like I will, there's fairly often that I'll have two in a free buy, and I will not buy Haven.
Yeah. But gear is really good, guys. Okay. Maybe
Oh,
it's not super duper game changing as Hugo says, but like this card's really stinking good. Engine, big money, super good.
The one
mean-
thing, it may not draw as many cards as Courtyard, but it does it increases your hand size for next turn rather than just, oh, here's pushing cards down the line.
What other card lets you seed your next hand with two cards? Two
Two
cards. That's two cards. That takes two cards to do that.
Or
This is
how many
so
times
good.
can you is save a once per turn thing, or can you buy as many as you want?
What do you mean?
Save
Save,
is
because
once
save
per
is pretty much
turn.
the same thing.
Oh, you're talking about the
Save
event?
is once per turn because
Okay.
it used to not be, and we would just buy
Yeah.
5 of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Not 5 of them, but
You know, you get
2
several
or
because
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
it
cheap.
only costs you a money and gives you the buyback.
Mhm.
This is like that's a big deal. Seeding your hand with two cards, like your odds of kicking off your engine are
Yeah, but it's
ridiculously
it's
more.
like Scheme. It's really good
But
when
that's like-
you know it's
So
the
much work.
The consistency is good when you already have this draw deck, but
Yeah, that's a big deal. One
Well-
gear does that for you. It does two cards.
Yeah, well, you kind of
And
need
it-
2 though, because
and
you
it
need to be able to do it
draws.
every turn. And...
Sure, but it draws cards. Whoa!
But then if you set aside for your consistency, you've lost that. Like,
Really?
yes.
Well, then you've been responsible. You got those extra components for that purpose, for reliability's
Yeah,
sake.
but you could also just have more components. And like, I guess I just
yeah, you
guess
already
usually
do have more components.
usually when I'm playing an engine there, my opponent's also playing an engine there, and I don't have all that much time to spend on being consistent.
I mean, there are a lot of games that get lost because you stall. I mean, I don't.
I don't have anything against gear, but it's not like crazy.
Like, I might open gear, because if it collides with my other thing, I can just save it for next turn then. I'm not going to be afraid of doing that. There will probably be better stuff to open with on the table.
I might be being hyperbolic, but that gets me plus ones. Everyone go plus one of my posts on the forums right now because I'm being
I'm
hyperbolic.
sure the card is a fine role player anyway.
It's super good. Super good. Great. So now that we've all agreed that gear is super amazing, let's move on to the next card. Miser! 4-hour action, choose one, put a copper from your hand on your tavern mat, or plus $1 per copper on your tavern mat. It's pirate ship only, it attacks you!
I hope you don't I hope you don't have a campaign on this one too for super amazing.
Oh, Miser's so slow, man.
I like
I
Miser.
want this card to be good.
It's good.
It's-
It's just really
it's-
slow.
It's not
Okay,
good,
okay, like,
but it is fun to do.
The effect of it is good. Like it thins your coppers and then it's terminal payload. Like
Well,
if that's what your deck needs and you have a good payload to justify its slowness, super great.
I mean, good
all-
is a relative term, right? Like, obviously, it's like I can have this effect for free or not. Yes, I'm going to take the effect, but
yeah. The big
compared to whatever else I'm doing, I'm less sure.
I'm just
I probably failed more with this card in terms of trying to make it do things
Oh,
and
yeah.
not having it pan out than
yeah.
any
I
other
That's very
imagine.
true.
set.
I imagine it's worth going for a lot more than Pirate Ship.
Oh yeah.
Well, sure.
Yeah, you got that board you're looking at where there's no copper trashing other than opponents' pirate ships, and you're like, oh man, I can't build my engine now. But this card will save you. This card's not a disappointment.
I want to like Miser. I definitely would skip it if there was like Moneylender or Spice Merchant on the board.
Oh, sure.
But barring other copper trashing, then yeah, there's usually some games where you're going to pick up Rat Catch or something like that, where you just want to get rid of those cards, and so Miser can do that. And then later in the game, it's going to give you like 7 coins if you manage to get rid of all your coppers, which is nice if you have a plus buy.
Yeah, there's these comparisons of Miser to other cards. Trying to think of good comparison. I mean, like Coppersmith. I like to
Yes.
compare Miser to Coppersmith because like it's terminal
Probably
money
better than
payload,
Coppersmith?
and like it's better because a lot of times you don't want to build a deck that has coppers in it. But like when it's good, it's gonna be super good, and you're gonna feel really good making it happen. But it just doesn't happen very often, right? A lot of things have to be there and not be there.
Honestly, I'd compare this more to Trade Route. I think it's going to have the same speed, and it's essentially doing the same thing. You're getting rid of a card for like no benefit until with Trade Route you're buying victory cards, which you're not going to do early unless there's like Great Hall or something.
The
Sure.
difference with trade rate is with trade rate you never get a benefit.
Yeah,
You get a buy though. Which
the
You get a buy,
payload
which
really
is
big.
which is not nothing.
the payload for Miser is certainly better than the payload for Trade Route. But yeah, the pace of it.
There have definitely been times where I've gotten a trade route not because I really wanted the trashing, but just because like I need the plus buy and there's nothing else on the board.
Sure.
Mhm.
That is certainly true.
You know, it's ye old ruined market.
Europe's going to bed, Adam. We're losing viewers.
Yep, we got to get going here. That was good though. We all like
Sweet
Miser.
dreams, Europe.
2IVM.
The whole
Thanks.
continent is falling asleep to
Uh,
Miser
our
at least
voices.
gets 3 quicker than Trade Route will, though.
I didn't hear yet. What did you say?
Miser will get to 3 coins quicker than Trade Route will, though.
True. Yeah, the payload is certainly
Not
more.
when I open
Probably,
Silk Road
usually.
trade route.
Oh snap!
Port is awesome.
I think you mean
and I
Gardens
want-
trade route.
I don't
The
know.
only one
I
I've
opened
seen
Silk Road.
trade
The
route.
opponent opens with the gardens. See, it's teamwork. We got to get it.
Right. Then it's at 3. Boom.
It's gardens.
Almost at 3.
And then there's like ball trade route tunnel. There's all
Port.
sorts.
Port
Okay,
is
Port
a
is
$4
simple.
village that you get 2 copies of when you buy. All right.
And there's
Great!
12 in the pile. There's 12
Great.
in the pile.
There's
Oh,
12
yes,
in the
yes.
pile. Yeah,
There we go, we're done.
I actually don't have anything
Um,
more to say. Anything else?
How good is it compared to the bonuses on the other four cost villages? I imagine
probably
it's often better than most
better.
of them.
Yeah.
Just the
'Cause
fact that
usually-
I don't really know.
Usually, if I want a village, I'm pretty happy with 2 villages.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
for
so
sure.
you're
it's
spending
not-
fewer buys on villages, so you instead of I need to buy a village, then a smithy, then a village, then a smithy. No, I'll just buy a port and then I'll buy some smithies.
Yeah.
So,
JSH would point out that it's a good receptacle for tokens.
Yeah.
mm.
There you go.
Because you're
Synergy.
guaranteed
It is.
a bunch of them.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Easy to spam. Port's it's the new spammable card. It's the new village idiot. We did
Okay,
it, guys.
Ranger.
We did it. Ranger.
I like this card a lot.
Oh, this is one of my favorites in the new sets. $4 action gives you buy whenever you play it, and then the text: turn your journey token over. It starts face up. If it's face up, plus 5 cards. So every other time you play it, you get the 5 cards. Lots of ways you can compare this card to other cards. There's the tactician
Smithy.
comparison.
The video
There's
says
the smithy
port still.
comparison.
Okay, so the Ranger always gives you the plus buy, but is the draw regular enough that you would consider picking up a couple of these for big money?
I have played Big Money Ranger, but
I
only a
mean-
couple times.
mean,
I
big money
wouldn't think that'd
Ranger.
be very good.
Big money Ranger is
because-
going to be a lot worse than other terminal draw big money.
I was gonna say it's probably got to be pretty significantly worse than Smithy Big Money. You usually don't need 5 cards. Like 3,
Yeah.
3 is going to get you
Although
most of what 5 is.
if you're early big, if the second time you activate this thing you hit 9, you take gold, silver. That's
Sure.
not so.
Sure.
Well, but
You can have the
I
buy,
think the
so you
bigger
can
thing is that
you can make
it
use
draws
of the money.
fewer cards on average.
Right.
Right, and
Yes,
the
no,
big
it's
comparison,
right.
the big
And Big
comparison,
Money isn't that good
Yeah.
anyway.
But this,
usually.
right? Yeah. No, this is a weird thing to talk about with Ranger because it's much better in an engine.
these journey token cards, it costs you 2 actions to get your big effect, and it costs you 2
Right.
cards. And like a lot of times, I had mentioned this, I think, with Giant in the previous section. Like Giant costs a whole bunch more. We've always measured Dominion cards relative to the base cost of card and action, and like. This is twice that because you have to play it twice. Like that's so much more. That's so much more, guys. It's like
You might say it's
super-
twice as much.
It's like super way more. It's like super way more, guys. But it's more than twice as much because you only get 1 action on a turn, right? You don't get 2 actions on a turn. That's
Wait,
huge.
I don't.
Okay, maybe McSeenock does,
Thought
but
that
no
was
one
the-
else gets 2 actions on a turn. So like that's a big stinking deal. That said, you can build an engine where like your journey token is ready to fly at the start of your turn, and this is extra reliability. So like that's kind of cool. I mean, there is synergy there.
Well, I think with Ranger, you definitely want your journey token flip down at the end of your turn, whereas with Giant, it doesn't really matter because it's payload, it's at the end of your turn.
Yep.
Whereas Ranger, you definitely want to start with drawing 5 cards.
For sure.
I guess.
Ellis
I don't
says
really know about Giant. I don't buy that card. It's not very
it's
good.
not very good. It's like pillage, yeah. Ellis says, Adam, please talk about throning journey token cards. So when you throne this, you get 2 buys and 5 cards.
I don't understand why people are so high on throning these. Like, it's not really that much different than just playing 2 copies.
Yeah, I mean, Throne Room just reads the text of Throne Room says, take the best action card on the board, +1 action, and then that. Like that's what Throne Room says. I know it might not look like it. That's what it really
it's-
says.
Pretty close to being Village, honestly.
I mean, I think that's pretty pessimistic, but sure.
No, I
The
mean
best card on the board
it's-
is usually better than a cantrip, is what I'm
well,
saying.
but Throne Room is either Village that draws it's basically what it is. It's a Village that draws the best card in your hand.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like
Well,
a card
it
that lets you
can't
play an
be.
action twice. Kind of. That's
It's
A little bit.
kind of like that.
it's
but-
similar.
But it's not exactly the same,
But
yeah.
it's not exactly the same because you have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not quite.
It doesn't
yeah,
just let you. You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah,
You have to.
it's a little different.
It's
Right?
compulsory.
Throne
It's like
Room
when you play a throne room and then you play a herald and then like 10 15 cards fly up in front of your screen and all of a sudden you have 7 actions. Like I have no idea what just happened. That's what I like about throne
Then you
room.
herald a herald a herald a herald, and
Yeah.
you have like 7 actions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And then you find your ambassador and you only have good cards.
Lol. Hey, but hopefully the heralds are empty by that point. You have one in your hand, so it's no bigs, right? I actually don't have much else to say about Ranger other than like I really like the card. It's super good. Oh, probably don't open with it. Yeah, you don't want to open Ranger.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think you want to open Ranger. Like it used to cost 3 and do something different. You still didn't want to open with 2 Rangers. Still,
It
no
used to
bueno.
cost 3 and do something different. That's very enlightening.
Yeah, but the whole like journey token 5 cards thing, it was weaker. I don't remember. Like maybe the buy. I don't know. But like you still didn't want to
That's-
open with
that's
2 of
fine.
them.
GSH had the only got the buy when the journey token was face up.
Yeah, and it was a tracking issue. Yeah, it was a pain to keep track of. So we just changed it. Yeah. Cool. Did Transmogrify. We did Artificer. No, we didn't do Artificer, right?
We have not done Artificer.
Artificer!
Looks like Linnell Ingram's best effort yet.
I really don't like the art on this card.
Who did the Butcher Baker Pete thing?
That's
Is that
the
her?
same lady, yeah.
Oh,
I
I
like
like
Butcher
Butcher.
a lot.
Butcher's
I
cool.
like
Baker-
Butcher.
Baker
But
really
the
looks
other
like she's
two,
afraid
I
of
can
bread.
do without.
Baker's okay. This I
Are
don't-
you not
Actu-
afraid of bread?
I love bread. I've just learned this about myself. Like I
love
love
bread,
bread.
as well. Bread
It's
is
like
great.
one of my
Awesome.
favorite foods. I love bread. Delicious. So many different things you can do with bread. Amazing. This is a $5 action. Card action dollar. So you got the peddler thing going on. And then it says discard any number of cards. You may gain a card costing exactly $1 per card you discarded, putting it on top of your deck. You gain a victory card, has to go on top of your deck. But you can convert cards into gaininess.
I love Artificer, and I think it's only because in one of the playtest games, I had a Haunted Woods from last turn, so I was at 8 cards, and I played an Artificer, and then I top decked a Prince, and that was awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds pretty hot.
I like Artificer a lot.
Artificer, you can do some really cool tricks with overdrawing your deck. I mean, it
Well, the
requires a
point-
lot of draw to be really super awesome.
Well,
but
one
like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
one
so
thing to
cool.
note with Artificers, you don't have to overdraw your deck to do the tricks because the
Sure.
gain goes to the top of your deck.
Yep.
So you just have to have another cantrip
That's true.
to make use of what you gained this very turn.
I mean, it's a gainer, but cards is a relatively high price to pay, but it's also a peddler raw.
I
so,
mean,
you know, it's good.
my thing is there are a lot of people who seem to be really high on this card, and like if you're using the gain ability though, you're basically turning all those cards into coppers, which is
I mean, only if
fine, and you
if
get it
you're-
on top of your deck, so that's a
only
thing.
if your turn stops immediately, right? Otherwise, it's going on top of your deck. You should be able to get some additional benefit this turn
Sure,
from the gain.
sure, but like, yeah, no, I mean it's a little bit better than turning them all into coppers, but it's a rough analogy, right? Like,
Sure.
Yeah, and I mean that just goes to show you how good cards are, right?
Mm.
So yeah.
I imagine that it's it's pretty good, largely because it's the floor is pretty high, right? Being a peddler is a pretty good floor,
Yeah.
and then the rest is just upside,
No,
which
what I-
can
what I
sometimes
want
be
to-
amazingly good, and then sometimes be just okay.
What I want to
Right.
try is once
Here,
I
it has
get physical.
Artificer has at least one really nice combo, Menagerie, there, right away.
Oh yeah, that's so hot.
I mean,
Sure.
you can make really good use of that.
Menagerie is
Yeah, it's going to work well with like, I kind of consider Menagerie very similar to Draw to X.
Sure.
And yeah, with that kind of stuff, it's going to be very nice. But
So just
Um,
once, I want to try play Artificer, discard my hand, top deck an Artificer, the next turn just do the same thing until I just have all the Artificers.
There's only
you gotta
when
draw
they
a lot, but
You won't do much if you do that unless you're doing fairy into Artificers, and then that works. That is actually a good thing to do.
like you're just spending a whole bunch of turns getting peddlers, which
Well, you're
I mean,
getting
it's not the worst thing. I mean, better than peddlers, but I mean, for a long time, they're just, next turn I'm going
So-
to gain another one of these. Like, you're spending a long time on that. If that's what you're doing, it's just every turn I'm just getting an artificer, and that's my whole turn.
right. That's why I said if you're just doing it without any price reduction, it won't work. But if you do fairy onto the Artificer pile,
I mean,
you can empty that pile really quickly.
I can think of worse things than that, but
You can empty that pile in like 5 turns.
Yeah, because as long as you have 2 coppers in hand, I'll play an Artificer, discard 3 cards, gain another Artificer, and then I'll buy another Artificer, and then I'll do the same thing next
Sure.
turn.
sure. I mean, yeah. Well, but I think that's more because fairy is like absurdly like
Sure.
broken good. But
But I'm just mentioning a thing that it's
sure.
And
And
Adam
I'm
has-
mentioning it because it's a thing that we did a bunch of times because, of course,
Because they're
we're
in the same
testing
set and you're
the set.
testing. Yeah, yeah.
yes. Are we ready to go to the next card?
I think we are.
Sure.
Bridge Troll Raw. $5 action duration attack. You get a buy, and then here's a lot of text. So each other player takes his -1 coin token. That's the attack part. They get their
Yeah.
minus token. Then now and at the start of your next turn, you get the buy. So it's buy now, buy later. And then, while this is in play, cards cost 1 less on your turns, but not less than 0. So it's like the bridge, right? It's the dollar. Well, actually, it's not the dollar. So it's
No.
worse than bridge
Instead
right
of
now.
instead of giving you $1, it takes 1 from them.
Okay. So it's the worst bridge kind of attack thing now, and then next turn it's the cost reduction and the buy.
I have to imagine this card is worse than bridge just because it costs 5. The
But
effect
it's
is
also-
probably. Yeah.
It's not next turn. It's as soon as you play it, Adam, that you get the cost reduction.
It's this turn and it's next turn. There was a
Yeah,
so
one
it's
game.
both turns.
Gendo
Okay.
Akari had like 4 bridge trolls. Like he
The-
played 2, and then he played 2, and so just he could buy whatever he wanted.
The effect is probably a little bit better than bridge, but it doesn't stack as well because the attack does not stack.
Yeah, you still need to get like if you want to have 4 of these, if you want to have 4 cost reductions, you need 4 copies of this card. And just because you might be able to play him on adjacent turns, and maybe that's a little easier, like you still have to build as much to do it. So that's still a thing,
And
So
it's more expensive.
and it's more expensive. Yeah.
I think the biggest difference is that it costs 5 instead of 4.
Mhm.
And I think that's going to make it a bit worse than bridge, but I think
Probably.
it might still be better than Merchant Guild.
Probably the biggest difference is that it's not kingable as far as from
Right.
bridge.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, none of the cost reducers after bridge are Kingdom. So
Yes. But like -1 token. That's, I mean, that's an attack, but I wouldn't say it's much more annoying than, like, I don't know, cut purse or militia, which really aren't the worst things that you can do in your life. So while it is annoying, I mean, I wouldn't say it's game warping.
well, it's a cut purse that continues to annoy after you've gotten rid of all your coppers. It's a cut purse.
Sure, it can't be dodged. Yeah. But yeah, it's just Toyn Koken. I used to say that on it. But actually, I mean, that's Bridge Troll. I can't think of.
I
much
like
else I
that the
need.
artist thought the most exciting part of Bridge Troll was the bridge.
I can't even see the. Where's the troll?
He's a kind of a like peach smudge
Is-
underneath. And this is the
that's
same
this
guy
guy?
who does all that CGI art, like for Hamlet and Hunting Party and Rebuild. So
I feel like I just need to take a look at a higher resolution version of this card.
yes,
I feel like this just isn't doing it justice.
and like JSH couldn't tell that those were horses on the bridge.
Oh, what? Oh, this?
No,
They-
that
That's
the
just some
thing you're
guy.
pointing at, it's no, that's a troll. That's a troll, and then there's horses on the bridge.
I thought the troll was in the background of, underneath the arch.
This is
No,
the
that-
troll,
that's-
and then
That's
these
just
are
a gray
the.
splotch.
Oh man. Okay.
The troll is the guy on the bridge.
I'm just gonna reserve judgment until I have the card in my hand. This is. I'm really confused, TBH. Great. Distant
Ready to
Land.
move on to the next?
I
Yeah,
like
Distant
Bridge
Lands.
Troll. I think Bridge Troll's fun, but I like
Yeah.
cost reduction. So
Who doesn't?
Yeah. I'm sure somebody doesn't, but I do.
Well, screw them.
Whoa.
Gasp!
So Distant Lands, $5 action reserve victory. It's our victory card. Everyone loves victory cards. If you don't love victory cards, screw you.
I guess you don't like guilds then.
I was a little sad that there was no victory card in guilds. Yeah. Distant Lands, you play it. It goes on your tavern mat, and it never leaves the tavern mat. It stays there forever, which is good because it doesn't do anything, right? All it is points. It's a victory card. It's 4 if it's on your tavern mat, 0 if not. So Steph says I don't like victory cards. We all know you're lying, Steph. Stop lying. So there's a little bit of a gamble if you're making, like, if the game could end next turn, like maybe you don't get your points from Distant Lands. So there's a little bit of a risk there. But it's 4 points for $5 and it islands itself. Wah! Distant Lands is enormous. If it's there and you ignore it, you're gonna get beat by the guy who didn't ignore it. Most of the
Usually.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's super good. It feels different. I love this card. I love this card. I'm gonna hug the card. I'm gonna hug my
I
money.
think there's going to be a problem with players getting distracted by distant lands.
Really?
Because there was one game I was playing with Gendo Akari, and he was just like duplicating all the distant lands. But rather than I didn't go for them, and I just sort of went in a province direction. And
Did
I'm
you
pretty
win?
sure I got more. I'm pretty sure I won. I think I won all the games I played there.
But
But he was just like distant lands, and but I don't know. I don't think he got them soon enough to get them
was it
onto
like
his map quick
some
enough.
really weird, there were like no villages, you had to play big money kind of board?
No, it was definitely an engine board. It's just I
How many
wasn't really.
players?
I definitely think
Was
more
it
of
like a
distant
mega
lands.
turn?
No, it was two players.
Two
I
players.
don't
I,
remember what
I
else was
didn't say
besides-
multiplayer. I said mega
Adam
turn.
asked about
I
that.
asked.
Wondering.
Oh, okay.
There was definitely duplicate because he was duplicating distant lands. Um, I don't remember what else was on the board. I definitely like distant lands more than I did then. Like having thought about it, yeah, that's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points, man.
It is a lot of
So
points.
many points.
The thing is, like, figure out if a card is good or not. Like, simple way a lot of times is, okay, what if one person, particularly with victory cards, what if one person goes for it all the way and the other person doesn't go for it at all?
Mhm.
And like, it seems to me like if you get all the distant lands, you don't need that many provinces.
Right.
So
32 points.
seems like it's probably
I,
good.
I
yeah.
don't think he actually got any provinces that game. I think he just went for distant lands.
Well, I,
Hmm.
I don't think that's good, but
We can just blame this on poor play by your opponent. Distant lands is amazing. Yep.
Okay.
No, it could very well have not. It could very well have not been the play in a given board.
That's true, but like, I love this card.
Yeah,
It's good. It's a victory card. It feels different. Oh, it makes me so happy.
I think it's probably tricky too, though. Like
Oh yeah.
timing on when to get it, if to get it, but like when to get it, you know, you need to be able to play it, which means you need to be able to have the action open and enough draw, and for it to not hurt you, and then for not to just building to be better. Like, yeah, but in a non-mirror, like it's a huge sink of points.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of interested, and I haven't really worked out yet, slog applications. Like,
It's gonna be so hot, man. It's gonna be amazing.
Don't leave
No,
Adam
what-
alone in a room with distant land.
No, please do. Please do.
And
I
a
have,
C-hack,
I,
maybe.
I have sleeves on my cards, guys. It's okay.
Jeez.
Well,
I have
one
sleeves
thing
on
is
my
just-
arms.
Oh,
One thing, just looking at distant lands and like thinking about it, it kind of makes me think that Donalix might be running out of ideas in certain areas. Like, there's really not much more
Really?
else that can be do in terms of victory cards. Like, we've done all the counting
plenty.
victory cards. Like, what else would you do for victory cards?
Like, I don't really want to sidetrack, but like, there's I don't know, maybe you wouldn't like it, but there's lots of things you can do.
I mean, I don't think I can really say what I know about it. So I'll just let Donald say what he wants.
I mean, he's talked about it. It's hard. It's probably harder than actions, but
I know it's kind of a difficult subject, and I don't like. Yeah, that's a hard question to answer, and I don't think I'm the one to answer
okay,
it.
great. Let's move on.
Sorry.
Let's.
I'm not trying to shut down the discussion. I just can't contribute to it at all.
Distant lands, good in an engine.
Oh, it's
Nice
it's
old VP.
so good.
There you go.
What are you doing, Wiki? I want to click on the relic. Ugh. Okay, well, oh, there it is. Great. Relic! It's $5 treasure attack. There's a treasure attack now! Wah! It's $2, so it's one of those $5 strictly better than silver cards. And then the attack is when you...
Edge case, edge case, edge case.
I made air quotes, Wandering Winder. You can't do that. And then it's...
I didn't have you on video at the time, so. Oh, now I see your air quotes.
Yeah, there they are now.
you people.
Everything is all delayed going through Twitch.
Okay. So
So yeah, Relic
the
gives out
attack.
-1 card token. There we go.
Yeah, there it is. -1 card token. It's annoying. It's not like game breaking. It's annoying. It's like a minion attack, only it doesn't feel nearly as bad as a minion attack does.
The -1 card token is sort of subtle in that you don't always notice it very much.
Yeah,
Like it
correct.
doesn't feel as harmful
Yeah.
as a militia,
You don't get to
but it,
see
I
what
mean,
you could have had.
It
but it
probably
is
hurts
it
about
is
as
an
much
attack.
as militia. Like,
Yeah.
because it's a random. It's
Yeah.
instead of a
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the minion attack. Yeah.
So I
um.
definitely
Except it's delayed until your next turn.
I still have a
Sure.
hard time evaluating how much I'm being hurt by the -1 card token.
I have to imagine that the first copy of this card is like gotta be just better than gold usually,
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, you
because a
don't
card is
want-
usually worth more than a money.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean that doesn't mean it's amazing. Like there's a lot of 5 costs that are that way,
Hmm.
that have that property, and this one doesn't. You know, the attack doesn't stack.
Yeah, and I guess that's not really true for a lot of $5 air quotes strictly better than silver cards.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
this is no royal seal, but it's
Hey, Royal Seal's good.
it's close.
Uh,
It's better than Watchtower.
I mean, they're definitely-
I imagine this is probably a lot better than Royal Seal.
I'm sorry, I'm being sarcastic.
I was too.
Like this is probably the best 5-cost silver, because its competition is Royal
Well,
Seal
what do you-
and Stash.
Like if you
But what do you
Venture
consider
restricted,
5 cost silver?
right.
Venture's pretty good.
if it has to have a
Okay.
big 2 on it,
I
It
think
has
this
to have a
probably
big
better than
2 on it.
Venture.
Like I wouldn't call Ill-Gotten Gains really a silver because the whole
Counterfeit.
And this is way better than Ig. Oh, Ig is terrible. It's just a bad card. It's not very good.
I mean counterfeit is like better than this, but
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Counterfeit's like
What about the one that we're about to see?
Well, one more
Royal
thing on-
Carriage?
I don't know about the one we're about to see.
Well, with Relic, one synergy that I like is I want to play a Relic before I buy a Lost City, because then you don't get the card draw. It
But
kind
that's
of
not-
makes
But
it
you do.
But
You
I was
do
gonna
get
say
the
the
card
thing is
draw.
they're gonna draw a card anyway. It's still like that. You'll
Oh,
still get the
oh,
bonus.
here you go.
You-
There's a
you-
big
what you
combo
need to
here.
What
There's
you have to do is play one relic, then play a Horn of Plenty,
That's it!
gaining a Lost City, then playing a second
That's
relic.
what I was gonna say. The attack from Relic can stack if you stagger horns
could-
in.
you
That's
could-
it.
You can maybe
Ah.
do something also with Storyteller or maybe
Right.
Black Market.
Right.
Well, it would have to be
Horns.
Black Market because it's only Black Market that can buy.
Storyteller
And then
is
you
good.
can but then that's only one copy
You can,
of Lost City.
you can gain Lost City in a
Storyteller-
million different ways during your
Story-
turn.
Storyteller could definitely do it.
Yeah, Storyteller can do it for sure.
But then you still have to play your other Relic before you buy the Lost City. Unless
No,
you like
after.
to get
No,
from, like,
after you buy-
university.
after you get the
Not
you-
after you buy it, after you gain
Storyteller
it
relic
some
and
other
then
Yeah,
fashion.
you're gonna gain it and you're gonna alter into it or something.
You're not buying the Lost City, you're gaining it during
Okay.
your turn.
Horn of Plenty's way better for this. Yeah. Horn
But
combo is
anyway-
strictly better.
Anyway, this is something you'll do maybe once in all your time of playing Dominion,
Yes.
if you're lucky.
Nonsense. I'm gonna specifically design a board and just play that board only and stop playing full random.
Yep. Go casual mode. Get to the top of that leaderboard. Do it.
Yeah, that's gonna be my trap board just so I can get that minor, tiny little synergy.
Yep.
That's the only trap on
It's
it.
so good. So here's Royal Carriage. It's a $5 action reserve. When you play it, oh yeah, it is purple. It's royal.
It's purple.
When you play it, gives you your
Purple
action
cards are
back,
good.
and it goes back to your tavern mat. And then when you call it, it's directly after resolving an action. If it's still in play, which usually doesn't matter, you may call this to replay that action. So it's like Throne Room, only you don't have to line it up with your action, right? That's
But
the
you-
gist of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it costs 5.
Right. So that's the base thing. Now the
And
big
it doesn't produce actions quite as easily as splitting up throne rooms.
Yeah,
does.
so this is not nearly as good of a village as Throne Room is, but the nice thing is you can spam this in some senses a little better because you can have a lot of royal carriages and maybe only one copy of the cards you want to spam. So you
Oh yeah,
can
like
kind of
if I
build up.
play a followers, then I'll call 5 royal carriages and
Sure.
give
And you'll have
everyone
an
6 curses.
and
A
I'll have
lot
an
of
awful
mistakes.
deck, but your deck will be slightly awfuler.
Yes, I have a lot of mistakes. Yeah, true.
You just dodge those draws of like throne,
But
estate,
as Leo will
estate,
point out, if you have a
copper.
watchtower in hand, you're good to go.
If you have a watchtower in hand, apparently you're always good to go. Yeah.
Often true.
is OP.
Royal Carriage is a neat card.
It's fun. Royal Carriage is a really fun card. It's a really good card. It feels so good to
I
play with it.
I imagine similar to Bridge Troll, like the effect is a little bit better, but the card is a little bit worse because it costs more.
It kind of depends, but like
I would agree.
In general, there's going to be lots of exceptions.
it's still really good. Like
Okay.
They're
it's
just-
still really good.
Yeah, I would agree in general. Though with Royal Carriage, there's a bigger difference to Throne Room than there are between the bridge and the Bridge
For
Troll,
sure.
I think, actually.
Sure,
I agree.
sure.
So
That makes
what I'm
sense.
noticing with a lot of the reserves that aren't at the start of your turn, so things like rail carriage, and well, the main other one is duplicate. It's do you want to hoard them until you have like 6 of them, and then just like do one like with all of them, or do you want to like use them one at a time to like sort of
I think
smooth things out?
usually what you want to do, and again, I haven't played with them, but my feeling would be usually what you would want to do is play it, and then you want to get the effect back before you shuffle. So you need to judge when is the best time for me to use this before my next reshuffle. In general, and there's going to be lots of exceptions, but
Anything else to say about Royal Carriage?
Maybe it's worth mentioning what Steph is saying, which is that Royal Carriage is better when your deck isn't like really, really good. So you can wait for whatever good card you do have
Sure.
and then double it. Whereas with Throne Room, if you have a really, really good deck, then you just line the Throne Rooms up pretty easily.
Yeah.
mhm.
So royal carriage is probably better when you have like lighter trashing and you're
Yes.
not
Mhm.
as reliably drawing your deck.
Well, but you can also get Royal Carriage in like a really bad, and it has that kind of golem effect. Like your deck is really bad, but it has like it has a bunch of junk in it. But like if you play golem, you're always going to find those 2 actions. If you play Royal Carriage, you're always going to get it to pair up with your actions. Like
right.
I think it was one of your match games, Adam, that you were like, I think it was one of yours. It was somebody the other day that was really no, it was She Can't Say No. Was playing in a match the other day. Was real confused by his opponent getting golem and like this. Well, I actually don't think that the golem was good. I guess he was more confused by the vault, but like that can work out sometimes. Like I have mostly a money deck, but I have a golem. You could have mostly a money deck and Royal Carriage could still be fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. I agree with all of this. do we want to talk about Treasure Trove?
I want to talk
Yes.
about Treasure Trove. Treasure Trove is my favorite card in the set, I think.
Are you serious?
I don't think it's the best card by any stretch. It's probably one of the worst cards, but yeah, I think it's my favorite.
Oh.
I
so-
totally read Treasure Trove as when gain when I first saw it, and I was like, "Oh, this is terrible." But I don't know. I can totally see it in like a big money game where I'm just going to buy a bunch of treasure troves and get lots of gold.
See,
and buy
I
some
think it's
gar-
going to be okay in big money, but I think it's going to be really good in slogs.
Oh, definitely.
For
Yes,
sure.
this is a slog card. This is the slog card.
So it's a $5 treasure, gives you $2. When you play it, you gain a gold and a copper. Continue. Oh,
that-
I
pretty
wanted
much
to
it.
say that when JSH was talking about Hot Air Balloon, I thought he was talking about this card. Now it turns out he wasn't, but I thought he was talking about Treasure Trove. I think Treasure Trove is it's one of the few cards in the set I don't really squee over all that much. It's really, really powerful for big money.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like for big money, really?
Yeah, it's super good for big money.
Like I thought it would be, good and pretty good, but
Like Explorer is terminal and it gains you a
Yes.
silver, and that's good for big money. This is a treasure.
I don't know that I would say that Explorer is good for big money.
Explorer is not good for much.
In fact, I know I wouldn't say that Explorer is good for big money.
Okay, I'm
Explorer,
just gonna
Explorer
straight
is
up.
much better in an engine than it is in big money.
I'm gonna straight up disagree with you there. So there's that. But anyway, like
Well,
a gold
it
and a
might be
copper.
better in big money than it is in most engines, but that doesn't
I
mean
don't
that
think
it's good
that's
for
even
big money.
true. I think your engine is your only like shot of making Explorer like
Because it can gain a gold reliably.
yes.
Yeah, you need an engine that has a province. So the decks that like tournament should like
Well,
explore.
I mean, I
Well.
think its best deck is like you have an engine and you have bishop and you have one province, and it's like gain 4 victory.
Yeah, you need to use for gold more than just money probably.
All right, I disagree with like all of what you're saying. Explorer is
The
good for big money.
Explorer's good for like Duke, but it's not good for a province money strategy really.
I think this is going to be better than Explorer for big money by a long shot.
Super way better, yeah.
Yes.
But I think it's going to be kind of similar to like Masterpiece is pretty good for big money, but it's not.
I think it's gonna
amazing.
be. I think this is gonna outclass the crap out of Masterpiece. Like you can go for Terminal Draw and this, and you know it's
Yeah.
way better than
You can-
Masterpiece. Yeah.
You can do that with
I always use
Masterpiece.
Masterpiece for Feodum. That's like all I use Masterpiece for. So I would, but since Treasure Trove gives you gold,
I've lost games because that was all I used Masterpiece for.
I mean, I think the thing for big money is you better want a terminal that costs 3 or 4 already. Like if a lot of times what I want to do on big money costs 5, and this is going to compete with that, and that's not going to make me happy. But like with
I
Smithy,
disagree with
this could be
that.
good. Really?
Yes.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not going to make me happy. Like
I mean, like, you
Big-
can pull off each
Big money has way more enablers at 3 and 4 than it does at 5. The good ones that you can open with.
sure, no, I'm that's
Isn't
fine.
that what Wandering Winter said? I don't remember.
That's not
well,
what
I
you
was
said.
saying that's what you want for this. I said a lot of times. I don't know if most of the time, but a lot of times I would want a 5.
Okay.
Now,
yeah.
this being around is going to probably push me to want the 3 or 4 a lot more. But
Sure.
This is just like a pile of garbage. Is this treasure trove?
Some of it's copper, some of it's gold.
It's like
Yeah,
they grabbed some
JSH said
sequins
that.
and threw them in.
This is a really tough card to use in engines, by the way.
I didn't even read JSH's comment.
this card is really tough to use in engines.
Yeah.
Like
It's hard to use in
Yes.
engines. Yeah, it's super hard. Just
you
so
need
you
to
guys
have
know.
like I guess you could go like Turbo Spice Merchant, and you're not going to run out of fuel.
But like it's still.
I was laughing at
Or like
comment.
Turbo Forager, where you just like there's some cards where it's just like I just need to be able to gain more crap every turn, because I need to get my plus buys going. But like, yeah, this is not an engine card in the slightest. I think it's best for slogs. Would you agree with that, Adam? It's best. It's better for slogs.
Yeah,
than it is
but
for
like
money?
cash is only good for slogs, and this is like a million times better than cash for slogs.
Well, I think cash can be okay for big money. Cash combos well with
Right,
Trader at
right.
least.
This is just like
I-
strictly better than cash. I know it's not strictly better, but
Pretty
like
close.
it's just so much better.
Let's get completely convoluted. I play Storyteller, then a Treasure Trove, and I reveal a Watchtower to trash the copper, and then later I draw the gold.
I have done Storyteller Treasure Trove before, but
It's
not
probably
with a
pretty good, yeah.
Watchtower.
It's probably pretty good.
Probably with some other. I'm sure with some other trashing though, whatever it was.
Mhm.
SCSN says he disagrees that cash combos well with Trader.
Well, if you're playing big money, but that's just because he didn't read the
No,
stupid
I know,
screen
I
the
know.
other day.
I know, but that was his joke.
See, that I want to point out, that was on the screen.
Yeah,
That told
it
you
just says
in response to
cash.
gaining a cash. I was like so ready for him to blame Goko. And I'm like, no, Goko does this right. Goko tells you when it technically doesn't need to, although it really should. But, you know, it meets minimum competency here. Yes.
Let's move on.
Minimum competency. Yeah. Wine merchant.
So
Yeah, look at that face. Look at that face.
he's very happy, probably because he's drinking wine. However, red wine's gross, so it's probably not red wine. So anyway, $5 action reserve.
Whoa,
It's a
whoa,
buy and
whoa.
$4, and you put it on your tavern mat.
I thought you
Okay.
didn't drink at all. How would you specifically have a dislike
Every
of
time my
red wine?
fiance gets wine at a restaurant, I have a
Yeah,
drink of it.
red
and,
wine is terrible.
And red wine is
Red
just
wine's
more
terrible.
gross than the other
This
things
is the
she
guy
orders.
who's drinking a Pepsi earlier.
An ice cold, refreshing Pepsi, sir.
Man, that really hits the spot. Pepsi,
The drink
it's the
of
choice of a
kings
new
is definitely
generation.
gin.
But you have to drink it in a Coke glass.
That's right. Look at this Pepsi. Anyway, so it's a $4 in a buy, which is great, but you put it on your tavern mat and you can't get it back until you have $2 unspent at the end of your turn. So it's maybe it's like a woodcutter that gives you some flexibility.
And more money.
And more, more money and flexibility. Perhaps like if you have multiple wine merchants on your mat, you can call them all with just $2 unspent. That's the thing.
Yeah, last footnote likes to bring up, yeah, you want more than one wine merchant.
He
so.
loves this card, and like I've thought like it's really bad. Like
That was my initial reaction.
this card is bad. Like it's not a poorly designed card. I'm happy about that. It's just not very strong. Like it's good when you want a woodcutter. Like that's it. Like there's a little cool thing going on here, but like it's
here's
like
a
woodcutter.
question for you that I'm gonna ask.
Yes.
How good is this in big money?
I mean, it's better than woodcutter. That's for sure.
Okay, that's a high bar.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever tried big money with this, but I don't remember.
I mean, it's maybe like Mandarin good, I guess. It's probably about as good as Mandarin, roughly.
But it does have a plus buy.
Well, in big money,
that's
that
like-
rarely matters.
Well, not like if you get 9 with it early on, you can get gold and silver. If you get 8 with it early on, you can get this in silver.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
But anyways, I have not done the money thing yet, but that's got to be like its worst spot, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's
Isn't that the reason you don't want to print five cost plus 4 money? It's because of the big money to be too good. It wouldn't be great in an engine. I mean, the plus buy makes this a lot better for an engine than that would be.
I just
but,
think it's not a good
Well,
card.
that's the
so
thing with this card is it's dependent
this
on
is
having
almost
plus
strictly
buy,
better than
right?
most
That's
of
like a
this
key part of it.
Well, I think if you would take out the reserve and take out the buy, it might be a good big money card.
I
Like,
think it would be
4 money
too
is
good.
a lot.
Yeah, I think it would be
I
too
mean,
good.
at that point, you're just looking at harvest.
Well,
But that's
you're looking
not
at
what
harvest
this
that
card is.
always
Yep.
makes 4.
You're looking at
You're kind of
strictly
looking
better
at-
than Harvest.
I
You're
mean,
kind
I
of
wasn't.
looking at merchant ship.
I mean, I believe the 4 coin, but that's not this card. So I'm not sure what that was. My comment was that this is not good for big money because
Well,
it's
I
not
don't-
this 4. It's not this produce 4 coin card that you're describing.
I understand what you're saying, but like I don't. Yeah, well, I'm sure Ella's right when she says that it's better than silver on a
Oh,
5
for
if
sure,
I had
Z's.
no other actions. But
Toast for
for
sure,
big money.
Z's. Yeah.
But like, yeah, for sure. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think this card is definitely be best in
I mean-
engines where you can use it as payload, like, and you play 3 of them, and so you only spend 2 to
get
release
them all back.
from hell or whatever.
Yeah, I just find that typically, like, that's the least important effect in an engine. And I guess if this is the only plus buy, it's the
I
only
mean,
plus buy. But
it's-
like,
at least the money here is tied to another gain, right?
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
sure, I'm sure it's a fine role player. I still don't think it's going to be super strong.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. That it
Cool.
would, I would never say that it's super strong. But it,
Wine merchant is always trash.
but
Sorry.
He's drinking a little bit too
Distracted
much of
by-
his own wares.
Anyway, when I first saw this card, I thought it was super terrible, awful, and
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we
Upon
first saw the card,
actually-
it didn't even have the buy, right?
well,
Oh,
I didn't see it
gosh.
in that stage.
Yeah.
But after I played with it, I did not think it was super terrible, awful. So it had some uses.
Yeah. It's
You just
fine
have to-
card.
Sure.
I like it. It's just not very good. That's all.
Okay. I can believe that. Like a lot of cards, it's a role player, but not a star.
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Ireland we've talked
looked
about.
entirely.
Oh yeah, we did that already. So here's the thing, guys. I have to go. I don't have time to do the events right now, so I might do another stream with that. It's been a pleasure. Like, this is gonna be really good. I know, like, the YouTube audience is really looking forward to this. Like, there are tons of people on YouTube that are really looking forward to this. So, like, shout outs to you guys. Thank you for watching this. And like,
They're